Hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on this very special Sunday evening edition of Un Poco Mas, the show where we try to give you just a little bit more, guys. Haven't normally been coming on the weekends because obviously you turds have better things to do. I just have a crazy theory that you guys have heard it, okay? First off, the bear thesis has sort of gone from FUD to dud in that they've attacked the stock with these sort of made up fundamental issues, whether it be credit quality, fair value accounting, balance sheet issues, and a myriad of other things that you guys know all too well because bloviating hot air machines such as myself talk about this nonstop on YouTube. But those arguments have kind of gone by the wayside, and if you notice, Lapointe and Noto were very specific in addressing some of the more pathetic analysts and their concerns, and how they never really do any work, and how it's pretty easy to figure out sort of what they consider that black box that is SOFI. It's not actually that complicated a business, and the trajectory is very, very clear. So now we go from FUD to dud, and the you notice this narrative kind of flipped. I think when they realized earnings were going to be pretty good, they were going to have a third consecutive, net profit in the ER. It went from a FUD concept to a dud concept. Everybody just said, "Okay, it is a good company. They are performing. They are executing. Management is doing everything they said, but it's just a horrible stock. Mechanics have a hold of it. They're never going to let it go. It doesn't matter how much money they make, how well they perform, how well they execute. They're just never going to let the stock go up." And people who say stuff like that are people that don't own a stock and have never owned a stock in their lives and have never been in the market. And that's just a fact. That's not how these things work. Stocks make abrupt moves up and down, and SoFi is essentially an extreme case of this. So everybody's saying, the open interest is so high, therefore they're going to hold it flat. Max Pain is 7. It's going to close, somewhere between 650 and 710 next week, and then it's going to go up the week after that because the open interest is so much lower the following week. And this is, again, people much smarter than me who understand options much better than I do have talked about this till they're blue in the face. But if you just look at the options flow sentiment for options that expire in the next week, the last week there have been positive orders, positive order value, 82%. The put call ratio is like 0.9, and then it falls back to 0.5. So a lot of puts this week. But I think the thing to understand is this is all dead money. This is all pre-earnings bets. Remember, they were expecting a 15% move that ended up being to the downside, kind of, because it went 780 and then it went about 15% or more down. But remember, it came into earnings about 720, so settling in at these levels, 664, wherever the stock sits right now, really isn't all that dramatic. Now, what leads me to believe that this move could come now? It's just basically that no retail's expecting it. I think retail's selling these calls. I think institutions can be long short-dated calls if their strategy is to flip the stock. And I watched that subtle upgrade from Goldman Sachs. I'm watching Dimension Fund increase their position by 263% in their latest filing, I think to 13 million shares. I'm looking at dumb money selling. I'm looking at you, Kitty Woods. I mean, she's buying the stock at 780. They have another good ER. EPS is about to go up fivefold quarter on quarter. And of course, Kitty Woods starts dumping. But whether it's Teladoc or Roku or any of these other companies besides Tesla, her strategy is just, I hate to say it because I like her. I enjoy her conversations and her theories, but in terms of actually picking when to buy and when to sell, she seems horrible. And you do better off doing the inverse. Her funds kind of burn money. But the point is, guys, options can cut both ways. I know smart money generally sells options and dumb money generally buys options, but that's not true 100% of the time. You have to look at when they were purchased, Sorry about that, guys. Seem to be having some technical difficulties. But the point is, why are there so much open interest? And people have theories about this: the timing of earnings, the timing of what the Fed's going to do, the timing of certain data coming out. But none of these theories explain why the open interest is just, 270,000 contracts and 235,000 in terms of puts, 500,000 total. Like next week, it's, I don't know, 60,000. So it's 8 or 9 fold. And I just don't think retail, particularly, is buying all these puts. So smart money is, in my opinion, looking for a huge move this week. And you see subtle signs. Think about it. We're already almost halfway through Q3. Okay? LaPointe and Noto said these trends are looking very, very strong that we're seeing into Q3. And they're telling you 4 cents. You have David Chiavarini from Wedbush increasing his full year guidance to 9 cents. Did hell freeze over? I mean, he may be the greatest gaslighting evil troll in the history of the world. But still, when he's saying 9 cents and then he's still at $4, other analysts that are 9 cents, are average around $9. And the analysts that have actually taken a closer look on the analyst days going to management, they tend to be more in the 10, 12, 13, $14 range, Morningstar fair value. So why are they holding it down? Why have they held this stock down and kind of churned it for 2.5 years? People have this complete misimpression of data, misinterpretation of price action. They think institutional longs and institutional shorts are enemies, that they're fighting each other. They're fighting it out, and at some point these white knight longs are going to come into the stock and save us all, and institutional ownership is going to go up, and the stock's just going to shoot up. Institutional longs have an interest to keep the stock down as long as they're in an accumulation phase. When they want it to move, yes, it's going to move. That's why I'm looking at these crazy volume of options, and I think something really odd is going to happen this week. It's going to be a big move one way or the other, in my opinion. A big move down from 650 just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense to you. Love to hear your thoughts. I just think this false narrative, they completely say, hey, this thing is going to be flat this week, it's going to fly next week. Everybody's saying that, so they don't want you to buy this week. Why? Because smart money, in my opinion, wants to take your money. I mean, we see it time and time again. So we look at options. We look at where is it likely to make a big move off of 650 when EPS is about to 5x. If the stock is worth, many of us believe $12 fair value. I don't think they're going to push it back down below 5. I don't see any fundamental or technical reason to do that. If you look at the chart, it's actually recovering quite nicely off of this key, 635, 640 level. Again, 4 candles kind of recovering here. When it makes this huge drop sort of irrationally, like after this earnings report, given the guidance we've seen, often we'll see, the stock make a move up from there. After this one, it traded flat. Here was a move up, but they shook it out twice. After this one, big move up, but the stock is just very unpredictable, and that's my point. Just when you think smart money is never going to move the stock up and you're making your bets in that direction, I think that's when they are going to move the stock up. And I don't really understand this level of open interest a few weeks after an earnings report that everybody thought was going to be sort of, lukewarm, not terrible, not great. And that's exactly what we saw, but we saw, really good guidance. So anyway, guys, I don't really have too much more. Going to keep this one pretty short tonight. But what do you guys think about the options? What do you think is going to happen this week? Do you think it's going to be flat? Do you think they're actually going to push down to 5? If they do go up, where do you think they're going up to? That's why I say watch Goldman, watch BlackRock. Goldman raised their estimates. BlackRock has continued, I believe, to increase their position. We see some of these other hedge funds, increasing their position dramatically. Swiss National Bank and others. All smart money is not created equal, guys. Big fish eat little fish, and I think they have no problem leaving some of these 2-bit shorts behind and just hanging them out to dry. But longs and shorts institutionally, they're not emotional people. Longs want the stock low to accumulate. Shorts want the stock low to make money off of retail. And they all want to sell retail options and then watch those options expire worthless. So I think we're just seeing more and more of that. Another really good article that came out on Seeking Alpha. I'm not going to read this one to you, but it's another good article. DT Invest, fintech superstar, available at a deep discount. Just goes through, his thesis, why he's finally turned bullish, SoFi's potential to sustain an impressive growth trajectory. It goes through an analysis. Basically winds up with a conclusion that the stock is completely undervalued. I think most of us land there. That's why we make these stupid videos and watch a bunch of returders and stuff like that. But when we're talking about 2024 guidance, everybody's talking about this 15-17% growth rate. The company's really growing 20-22% year on year. And I think the growth rate this year is going to be, 23-24%. Look at the EPS they're predicting. I mean, unless the margins just get incredibly better on these additional revenues, you're going to have to see revenues move up considerably, I think, in Q3 and Q4. The only thing that really makes sense to me is that management understands what's in the pipeline for tech. And management has to see profits and revenues coming out of the tech side to make it to what I believe is their baseline case, which is 5 cents. They're never going for what they're guiding for, guys. They have to be shooting for 5 cents, and they have to know it's there because the quarter's halfway over already. And they're saying the trends are very, very good. And they're saying these analysts that are bearish have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, are dishonest, and are essentially just making things up. What's up, C-Bar? Good to see you. Dudas Face is here. Ross is here. That's a funny quote, Ross. Yeah, going to run you over. Sirs and madams, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello, guys. Soon Poco Moss. Toto's here for the Gillian Henderson picture. Hockey Rink is here. Matt Flo is here. Good to see you. Biological Father Dale P. Michael Anthony Noto is here. Hey, man, uptrend, major support at 13. Don't know that stock. Might take a look. So far shares, any deal. Yeah, I wish I had 1 million shares, man. Not quite that many. I got a few thousand though. Got a few hundred. Got a few shares here and there. Still worries over the carry trade. Why? Explain yourself. It's all good. Just learn option, make money, lowering my cost. Yeah, just sell calls. That's the way to go. I'm not selling calls this week because not for 8.16, just because I believe the stock is going to make a huge move up and I don't want to get called away. But everybody else thinks the stock's going to be flat, so I'm probably wrong as usual. So if I ads watch WWE, see the ads, yeah. It's kind of the demographic they're shooting for. The young white males, working hard, putting money in the bank, big wrestling fans, investment directed by the Lord, SoFi's auspicious amount of time. It's, yeah, the algo loves to hold this thing at 666. I think they also draw the middle finger pattern on the chart. They love to. Mustang Rider has it flat. Mustang Rider going with the conventional wisdom, and he looks like a conventional wisdom kind of guy, very conservative. Do you think management PSU goals are still real? I really do, Bo. Listen, I think in 2026 they're going to earn $1. The reason is I think just analysts are pretending not to understand this company. I think everyone on Wall Street knows what this is now. I think they know the shorts are wrong. I think all the risk is out of the stock. I think the only goal now is how do they wash retail out as low as possible so institutional longs can accumulate and run this thing up as EPS explodes. Look, they're saying 80 cents on the high side. Don't even pay attention to the low side of management's guidance. 80 cents on the high side, to me, that means $1. They know what's in the tech pipeline. They know lending's going to explode. They have projections on home loans. They know what these student loan borrowers are going to do. And this whole business checking, hey, we're going to outsource all this stuff, they're just waiting for the feds to give them approval. Or they're waiting for a buyout from American Express. American Express makes even more sense than Goldman. They keep trying to push into banking. They're extremely strong. Obviously, the kings of these high-end credit cards, where SoFi's weak. But SoFi has, millions and millions of incredibly high-quality customers that American Express would love to get their hands on. So I'd love to see Amex buy out SoFi somewhere, $24-25. Why not? Why not us, guys? SoFi jumps when interest rates drop. Yeah, that's coming. That's the thing. Smart money has to be ahead of that. Smart money doesn't want to buy after it jumps $2 at $8.50. They want to buy at $6 or lower. So that's why they're running a Fugazi. They hit 2026, some in 2027. Mustang Rider, I think there's incentives at 25, 35, 45. I mean, I think Noto wants 24, 25 because I think he thinks the stock's worth 15, 16 at least right now. I don't think Noto's even paying attention to this $6 number. Happy to sell puts if I get called away. Either way, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong collecting premium. Don't get married to your shares like I did. If you get called away, you get called away. If you buy those shares when you're selling puts, it's not a big deal. I'd sell 25. Oh, of course I would, Ross. Are you kidding me? At this, if you give me 25 at this minute, yeah. I mean, I'm not a fool, guys. I mean, do you know how long it takes to 4x your money? Somebody's going to hand you $25 for your shares today. You're not going to take it. You'd have to be insane. Yeah. Yeah, I'd take $25 today, of course. I mean, that's 4x a market cap. That's, I mean, guys, we're trading at like 4x, less than 3x sales, which is ridiculous. But if you 4x, then you're trading at 12x sales, which is equally ridiculous on the other end. I mean, Upstart is trading. This run on Upstart's been crazy, guys. Their guidance wasn't even that good. They're not making money. They're not going to make money. It's a temporary thing. They're going to get absolutely slaughtered, but, it's a little bit of a short squeeze, and then institutional ownership was just a little bit higher. But I strongly encourage you to go through this assumptions, the intrinsic value calculations, what he thinks SoFi is worth. He thinks there's at least 40% undervalued. I think his assumptions are even a little bit low. But if you look, another sign, institutional ownership, 468 million, all-time high. It's only 44%, but that's basically due to dilution. With the 20 million shares being dumped by the Sovereign Wealth Fund, this thing's still up to record institutional ownership, as you guys can see. In terms of the short interest, I'll show you that, and then I'll go ahead and get you out of here. They have this at 16.5%, so still considerable. Short interest on Upstart was about double that at 32%, so you can see why it makes a dramatic move, plus the institutional ownership was higher. What do you guys think is going to happen this week? Again, I'm looking for a move well above that max pain level, somewhere, I'm looking for a move somewhere around 790. Whether or not that happens or the stock remains flat, I think obviously, the conventional wisdom is the stock's going to remain flat. I think the conventional wisdom is thrown out the window on the stock, and it's basically a lot of trickery, a lot of thuggery, a lot of mechanics. And I think when the bulls come in, they're going to come in unexpectedly, and they're going to come in very, very quickly and move the stock up. So that's my opinion, guys. What do I know? Buffett is not going to buy this stock. Yeah, I wish, man. SoFi has strong buy on Wednesday, which can be seen on Fidelity website. Yeah, it's more and more institutions buying in, and I think we're going to continue to see that. Guys, I hope you have a great night. It's Un Poco Mas. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll just have to see what happens this week. Either way, with all those options, I think it's going to be exciting. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace. I'm out.